Good evening! Welcome back to my cooking lessons. Today's recipe is what a lot of fans have asked for. Passion fruit and coconut cake. Most tastiest cake I've ever baked is what a lot of people have said. A lot of requests how to bake it. For that, you'll require 120 grams of butter, but I like to use 150 grams of ghee because I seem to get better results with this. Ghee is nothing but clarified butter. You get about 330 grams of castor sugar, meaning this stuff, white castor sugar. However, I tend to like golden castor sugar because I get better results in terms of taste. Either of the two, not both. 4 eggs, 2 cups of self-raising flour or ordinary flour allied with baking powder, about 2 teaspoons of baking powder. If you don't want to use baking powder, you can use the self-raising flour which contains within it the baking powder already. Desiccated coconut, 250 grams of desiccated coconut, which is about 2 cups. Passion fruit, all you need is this small little passion fruit tin. It contains the juice of passion fruit and the seeds. You can either put the seeds in the cake, but I prefer to get rid of the seeds using this little strainer device where all the seeds stay in and the fluid gets drained into a separate bowl. So I throw away the seeds and use just the tasty fluid. You need about milk. You can use any milk you like, ordinary milk or soy milk or almond milk. Later on, for the icing, we use cream cheese and soft icing mixture. I'll show you later how to make icing using just these two, and something to write, some writing stuff for the icing. Those are all the ingredients you need, and let's start baking. This is the process I was referring to. How to drain the passion fruit. You just empty the contents of the tin, the passion fruit pulp tin, into this strainer. Ordinary tea strainer which you use for tea leaves, you can use for this. The whole point is to avoid the seeds coming into, because most of you, I'm sure, don't like the passion fruit seeds. They're quite irritating when you chew, they hurt the teeth. If you do like passion fruit seeds in the cake, that's perfectly fine. But usually I put it in the strainer, and as you can see, I've just drained it without the seeds, just the juice. And you can use the spoon into the strainer to agitate it a bit to speeden up for the sake of time. The next step is mix the clarified butter with the sugar with the eggs. Here's the clarified butter, also known as ghee. About 150 grams has been poured into this mixing bowl. Here's the golden castor sugar which I'm going to use, but you can also use the white castor sugar. Add the whole lot into this. And over here you can see the 4 eggs which I have beaten separately into a bowl. Add the 4 eggs to this mixture. And now you have to mix all 3 of them together. To mix it, you can either use a wooden spoon and use all the might of your muscles. Usually that's what I do. Or if you want to do it more artistically, you could use a simple hand mixer, which is quite cheap and you can get off any supermarket store. So now we're going to add this mixture. So correction, we're going to mix this mixture containing of castor sugar, clarified butter and eggs very smoothly before we proceed to the next step. The next step is a bit busy. We're combining 4 ingredients. We're going to start with the flour. You can use the self-raising flour, 2 cups of it. Or if you want to use ordinary flour, you can use 2 cups of ordinary flour along with baking powder. After that, 2 cups of self-raising flour, you add in the desiccated coconut into this mixture. The amount of that is 2 cups as well, which is 180 grams. To this mixture, we can now add this passion fruit pulp which I have drained of all the seeds. And to this mixture we can add the milk, about half a cup of milk. You can use any milk you like, soy milk, almond milk, ordinary milk. The quantity is half a cup. And now you can use the beaters or an ordinary spoon to mix all this together. And this mixture, after you have mixed it fully, will have to be combined with this mixture, which was the granulated sugar, the eggs, together, which ultimately goes for baking. And as you remember, the mixture on my right contained the eggs, the clarified butter, and the golden castor sugar, which you beat together with the mixture. The mixture on the left contains the flour, the passion fruit, the coconut, and the milk. And now you're going to add one to the other. You can either add left to the right or right to the left, whichever one you like, because this combined mixture, after you put it in and after you mix it all together, goes into the baking pans. You can use either type of baking pan, a flat pan or a bundet, spelled as B-U-N-D-T, bundet pan. So here I am mixing both the mixtures. I'm going to also use the mixer to mix the two mixtures before I transfer the combined product into one of the pans for baking. And here is my oven. Here are the settings. 180 degrees centigrade. It's put for 45 minutes. It's all ready to receive the cake for baking. In we go. I'll lay it in there and it's going to bake in 45 minutes. We'll have something tasty coming out. How to make icing. The simplest form of making icing is you'll require cream cheese, and this, by the way, can be used for any cake recipe you want, along with icing sugar mixture. You need about half of this, which is 250 grams, and that's added to 250 grams of cream cheese. And then you need about 1 to 2 tablespoons of vanilla. You can use pretty much any type of vanilla which you can get in any supermarkets, and if you want coloring, you can put any coloring at this point if you like. So here I've emptied the contents of the cream cheese. Oh, that's the cream cheese. Now you can add all of the 250 milligrams of the 500 grams, 250 grams of the 500 grams of the icing sugar to this, and then add some vanilla to this mixture and mix it all together. And that creates the icing which you put onto the baked cake. But please ensure the cake is fully cooled, meaning at least leave it overnight in the oven after it's baked for 45 minutes, and the next day spread the icing at your leisure, and you can also put decorations on top. Here is the ingredients of the icing all mixed together. I decided to add a bit of pink coloring to it, so we got this as the icing. After you mix it all together, it can be left overnight in the fridge. I've got 2 spoons in here. Should only have one ideally. leave it in the fridge overnight, because simultaneously you can also have a look what's going on inside the oven. The cake is starting to get baked. That's where the cake gets left in the oven overnight after it's baked for 45 minutes. And the next day when the cake is fully cooled, this icing which you have prepared in the fridge, which you'll keep now, gets added to the top of the cake. 24 hours later, I've taken the fully baked cake out of the oven. This is how it looks like close up. You can see all the sugar glistening in the light along with the coconut. That's what granulated sugar does, it glistens. And this is the icing which I made yesterday, 24 hours in the fridge. This is how it looks like. And now it's very obvious what goes to what. The icing goes on top of the cake. And after you do that, I've got a few decorating materials, one of which is these icing tubes, which you can write whatever you like. You can put these sort of granules as well. And we also got simple florets as well, which you can get off any supermarket. You can even get chocolate butterflies as well, which you can put for decoration. And now let's start decorating the cake. And here is the finished product. Passion fruit and coconut cake with icing and decorations. Happy baking and enjoy the music.